Welcome to Whose Review Matters Anyway, the podcast where the show notes are made up and the reviews don't matter, just like subscription service prices. Not any single point do they matter because they're just going to increase the price after 6 months.
And ads.
And add ads.
Every 6 months?
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. It's going to end up becoming like Hulu, and Hulu's cheaper.
Netflix seems to be raising their prices every 6 months whenever they feel like it.
But also Disney owns Hulu, so...
True,
but the thing is with Hulu, it's cheaper and they have ads, and it makes sense. But for Disney, it's $12 or $13 a month.
Okay, hold on. Before we get into it, so obviously the comment comes from the fact that Disney announced that they're raising their prices on the subscription service.
Again.
Which, if anyone was fucking surprised, where the hell have you been for the last 20-something years at this point? Like every fucking subscription service always raises their prices.
It's inflation.
Even Hulu did at one point as well. I think they were are they still $4.99 or $5.99?
They were $8 before.
They used to be $4.99. I remember them used to be $5 a month.
I remember $8.
Yeah, well, what regardless. So, we're not going to get into that whole conversation because one, I honestly didn't read the whole thing, so I don't want to give misinformation. Two, I think it'd be a better conversation to have when the D23 Expo happens because, if we get into this conversation now, we're going to be like, oh, they don't have original content. That's what Han would say. And then me and Mike would be like, but then they have this and this and this. And then for all we know, it doesn't mean anything until we hear more about what Disney's actually going to offer when that expo happens. Because apparently that's when they're going to announce a whole shit ton of things. So
I think they're going to add new movies, I believe, so that's going to add up the prices.
They're just probably going to add an interactive theme park in the app.
Boo!
I don't know. They could. If you think about it, they have video games already that do that. So.
And 3, I heard a rumor that they're trying to combine Hulu and Disney into one.
They should try to interact with FastPass, in my opinion. If you have Disney Plus, I think somehow when you go to the Disney parks, you get some type of access to FastPass.
I think if you're actually an annual pass holder, somehow, because they actually don't sell them technically anymore, then you should just get Disney Plus for free.
They do sell they sell the weekday pass.
Yeah, no, that doesn't count. Okay, all right. We're not going to get to that conversation. We're going to hold it off until the Disney Expo happens. We got 2 movies to talk about. Two biggies, I guess you could say. We got Bullet Train, a Brad Pitt movie, starring Brad Pitt, I should say it that way. And another movie, Prey, which is like the 15,000th entry into the Predator franchise. Which after watching that movie, and I was watching a review about it, I completely forgot that there was another Predator movie that came after the Adrian Brody one.
Oh yeah,
yeah, you don't remember that was the Predators, and then you have AVP.
No. The Predators was the last one with Adrian Brody and Topher Grace. No, and there was another one in 2018 that came after that.
Oh yeah, with Olivia Munn.
Yes,
right?
That one.
Yes, that one. That one is complete dog shit.
I never saw it, and now I feel like I have to.
I mean, you're gonna watch it.
Hold on, we'll get into that conversation later. Okay, so 2 movies to talk about. We're good to go. Bullet Train. Let's start with that. Bullet Train, as I already mentioned, stars Brad Pitt and a shit ton of other actors like Bad Bunny. You got Sandra Bullock. Taylor Johnson. Brian Tyree Henry. And other people that I'm going to be like, whoa, what about this guy? And I'm like, we don't have time for that right now.
Channing Tatum, baby.
Bullet Train is a 2-hour and 6-minute long action comedy. It was rated R, which for good reason, I guess you could say. To be honest with you, when was the last time Brad Pitt was in a movie?
Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2? He was in Deadpool 2.
He was invisible.
I never saw Deadpool 2.
What the fuck?
Never saw it.
Whoa. What the fuck we doing this podcast for?
It's the same director.
Yeah, I know that. Wait, Deadpool 2 or the first Deadpool?
No, Deadpool 2.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I never saw it. Never saw it. All right. Synopsis goes: Ladybug is an unlucky assassin who's determined to do his job peacefully after one too many gigs has gone off the rails. Fate, however, may have other plans as his latest mission puts him on a collision course with lethal adversaries from around the globe, all with connected yet conflicting objectives on the world's fastest train. I like how the entire synopsis could have been fine if you had just left that last part about on the world's fastest train. It almost makes it seem like the train is irrelevant to the whole thing.
Mm,
I mean, like,
yes.
did it have to be a bullet train?
No,
It
no.
makes sense if it was a bullet train. Well, I mean,
It could
I
be.
think it makes. I think
IMDb,
it makes sense.
IMDb gives it a 7.5 out of 10.
Ooh, okay, okay, okay.
Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 54%.
54% Rotten Tomatoes. Ooh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about the
Now,
Google?
something else. There's only the
What the
people.
hell?
Ham sent out the, but made sure to actually advertise it.
Oh yeah.
So he said that for bullets that you see in the movie, he will serve you a shot, which is why 90% of his users liked this movie.
Happy people. You know, Ham's just doing a good service.
Yep.
All right. We'll go around with our cards as tradition goes, and then we'll backtrack and talk about what we liked or disliked about the movie. So, Bullet Train, Mike, what card will you give this movie?
So, fun fact: the last movie that Brad Pitt was in was The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum.
That's the one I saw. Yeah, it's the sequel basically because they're all in it.
Sequel? What?
Sure,
Oh,
they're
okay.
yeah.
Spoilers,
Yeah.
people. Spoilers.
Spoilers, 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 spoilers.
So, what card are you giving it, Mike?
Um, I'm gonna give this a green card. I feel confident.
Okay. Ham?
I'm gonna give it a hesitant green card for right now.
Hesitant.
That's a 10.
Mike also sounded hesitant as well.
No. I feel confident. It's a green.
Yeah, but you because I will also hesitantly give it a green card.
Okay.
Ooh, trick.
Maybe we'll see.
You know, at this point, I'm locked in. Sal's locked in. Ham, your card
I'm
is
not
locked
locked in.
in.
Don't give me
No,
that.
fuck you. If you drop it a yellow, we're all yellows.
So okay, so here's where I think part of my negative comes. But the thing is, like, the negative things I have to say about this movie aren't really like major things, and they're also not nitpicks either. But like, I will be completely transparent. I almost fell asleep at a couple parts in this movie because I felt like the dialogue was stretched out way too long, and not specifically like fuck, what lemon and orange, is that tangerine? Tangerine, lemon and tangerine. Their conversation was hilarious. I love those two guys. The whole
Mhm.
Thomas, the engine metaphors or whatever, like, was funny. And they had long conversations, but those weren't the ones that, like, I kind of dozed off on. And I want to be clear, like, I didn't actually fall asleep. I was just like one of those, like, okay, my eyes are closing, my head is nodding. I'm like, can we just get this on? Like, can we get this over with? Like, let's just go through it. And it wasn't, then they follow up with an action scene where I'm like, okay, finally something interesting here, because I felt like there were some parts of certain conversations that I felt like was either irrelevant or we could have already kind of guessed that from what we saw in the movie. So I just think, like, it's a 2 hour long movie that it's one of those weird movies where I feel like it could have just been done shorter and just get us, like, action all the way through, and not have these, like, really slow parts, which is kind of ironic because we're on the bullet train, which is like what, the fastest fucking, like, train on the planet or whatever, fastest vehicle, locomotive, whatever. But yet we have such slow parts to this movie, which now leading to the conversation that we almost had just a little while ago, I felt like the whole concept of the bullet train didn't matter in this movie. Like it could have been that train. It could have been a fucking boat for all I care. Like it's what movie did we just see recently, Ham, that was like a mystery kind of thing?
The Nile, something like that.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Death of the Nile.
yeah, definitely now. It kind of had like that same like feeling to me where it's like, okay, you got all these strangers, they got all their backstories, you're trying to figure out how it all connects or whatever, and you're kind of going through this mystery.
Yeah,
So like the bullet train idea just didn't land with me. Like I felt like it didn't matter that it was on a bullet train. So I
I
don't know. I don't know if you want to call that misleading or mismarketing or whatever, but like I don't know. It just didn't. I felt like the very short time we saw the bullet train in the Wolverine movie was better than what we saw here, or at least used better than what we saw here, because at least they fought on the top of that shit where
Yeah.
there were risks and everything. But here, didn't really matter. Didn't matter. Other than that, though, like I thought the action scenes were solid. I don't think that they were fantastic. I would say probably my favorite one is where he was using the suitcase to fight the wolf.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that was probably one of the more creative fight scenes. I thought like the final fight scene was just kind of tropey. Was like, yeah, you're gonna do that whole decoy shit. Yeah, you're gonna like, I don't know, just like use bullets, or we see you slashing. Oh no, are you gonna make it? Yeah, you're gonna fucking make it. Like it was pretty obvious that they were gonna let you die. Um, I just like it, but it was okay. Like my comparison for fight scenes, I guess number one would be like, well, not number one, but just off the top of my head, I think of Winter Soldier, where I thought the choreography to every single move in those action sequences was fantastic.
hold
But
up, hold up. What about Raid Redemption?
can can you let me finish?
Maybe, maybe.
I said not my number one, but a movie I would compare it to would be Winter Soldier, where again, choreography was fantastic. But the action movie that comes to my mind when it comes to fighting scenes that is a high bar to like very hard to pass is the fucking Raid Redemption. Ham, if you just give me fucking time to bring it up.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
bitch.
Soldier.
But the Raid has incredible choreography, and it was one of those movies. And Ham and I went to go see that movie together. Where it's one of those action movies where I got up out of my seat and was cheering and was like, "Yeah, get that fucker! Like, get him!" Yeah, it was awesome, and it was very intense. And I felt like this is going to get into another bit of a tangent here. I felt like those action sequences in the Raid Redemption was a good use of being in a theater, where as opposed to the bullet train where they were solid action sequences, but I felt like I didn't have to be in a theater to watch this movie, which is kind of like, it's almost like what's the word, blasphemy for me to say, where I felt like I could have been fine just streaming this at home and not have like I just feel like I didn't get any theatrical value out of this movie. I'm already going on too long, I feel like, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pass it on to you guys. I like it's good, but it's not fantastic, which is why I hesitantly give it a green card.
That sounds like a yellow man.
Man, I guess, like I said, hesitantly, but you guys can go and we'll see where I end up with.
Ham, you could go.
I got nuts in my mouth.
Okay.
I agree with Sal. I think sorry, got something in my mouth again. Uh, yeah, I agree. I don't see why it had to be on a train. I mean, I mean, you were talking about Death of the Nile. We can go to the original one, and that's the whatever on the train, which is the original movie. So, whatever. What was the first one called?
Murder on the Orient Express.
The train. Does it have to be on the train? I don't think so. Yes, it has a bunch of people that you may recognize. You have Quicksilver. You have an Eternal. Um, I don't think Selma Hayek's
Was
anything.
that Storm Shadow? Like the new Storm Shadow?
For X, Deadpool?
No,
Um,
from GI Joe.
Oh,
The father, like the
oh, I didn't. I never saw G.I. Joe.
oh, Snake Eyes, my bad. Snake Eyes, like the new Storm Shadow from
Oh, you
Snake Eyes. Was
oh,
that him?
is
see it?
he really?
Is he? He sounds. He looks. Let me see. Let me double check real
Yeah.
quick. But keep
Go
on talking.
ahead.
Totally. But so yeah, you have Domino. Forgot about her. Deadpool, I guess. Um, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's Storm Shadow.
Hmm, interesting.
But the girl, her story, okay, cool, whatever. Um, the two brothers, I think, made it a little more interesting than what it was. Without them, I think it wouldn't be that great.
I
Uh,
could agree with that. Yeah.
what else? Because I think that yeah, his I mean the Thomas the Tank whatever engine was probably the best bit in the whole movie. The snake I didn't care for. Cool. Well, one part I thought was funny, but you could have left that out. And the whole thing about, oh, I guess it's like it was my day off or whatever. That was okay for that ending part. Well, I don't think Sandra Bullock's character was needed either. I mean, I
No, but I think it's just a cameo, just to be a cameo. Like they could have done without the reveal.
it's still I'm like, okay, yeah, it sounded like her, so sure. I mean, even why even sure in the end, like that makes no sense to me. Why would she? Yeah, doesn't make any sense. Um, what
You
else?
should yellow card now.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
For
this
sure.
I hesitate to give it even a green because I don't think I'd rewatch this. I think it's
Yeah.
lost his charm already. Like I'd not want to see this again. There's no reason to in my mind. Uh, well, see now I'm recommending another movie over this. What is it? El Royale, whatever. Anybody see that one?
Is that a Quentin Tarantino movie?
I thought it was when I was watching it. I'm like, I know it isn't, but I almost thought it was. Um,
I know what you're talking about though. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in that I recommend that over this movie any day of the week. So that's why it is Bad Times at El Royale. Definitely watch that over this.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm on the same page with him where it's like, it was fun to watch the first time, but yeah, I wouldn't go back and rewatch it. But it's not like I don't know, for me, it's not like I wouldn't rewatch it because it's bad. It's just I wouldn't rewatch it because there was nothing major for me to be like, oh, I definitely want to see this again. And
yeah,
like if you ask like people like who their favorite character from the movie, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10 they're gonna say Lemon and Tangerine.
yeah.
Like Ham, I agree with Ham. Like I think they're the ones that really, I'm not gonna say carried the movie, but definitely added a lot of flavor to the movie to make it much more enjoyable during like the in between parts.
And for me, like Brad Pitt, anybody could have. Well, not anybody, but I mean, Brad Pitt was just Brad Pitt. I think they could have put anyone in that and been okay with it. But yes, he's a big star and all, but eh, I could see, I could see Ron Reynolds playing the character.
Yeah, that's why I was like, why I was asking like, what was the last thing Brad Pitt was in? Because I don't remember him being in anything major, like really as like a leading actor, and he didn't seem like his. I would say his one-liners landed like when he's like, really like he feels like he's really out of luck. Like one of my favorite scenes in the movie was when he was having that conversation with the old Japanese guy at the end. And he's like, I got a quick story to tell. He's like, no, I'm okay. Like, it'll be really short. No, I'm fine. Like he just kept brushing it off, and I'm like, I was chuckling through that. But like, yeah, I mean, Brad Pitt, I feel like he could have done better.
I agree. I mean, it just, he was basically all one-liners. I almost. I guess, yeah. All right. I'm going down to yellow. This is mild sauce. If you wanted something spicy, this is mild.
And
Um,
I don't want to. part of me doesn't want to do it, but I am gonna have to also drop down to a yellow because I think one of the biggest things that would have to defer between a yellow and a green is the rewatchability part.
Me
Like
too.
you have to be willing to rewatch it in order to confidently give it a green. And
And
for me,
so,
like I wouldn't really care to watch this or not. Like it's whatever.
and I also thought about another movie that is better than this one that does something similar and or better than what we saw. And it has less action and it's better. So yeah, there you go.
I
Um,
would say though, for clarity's sake, and Ham, you can correct me if I'm misspeaking for you, but this is not a bad movie. This
no,
is
it's
at
not.
the very least just like a solid, fun movie to watch.
Yeah, put it on the TV, sure, but like you said earlier, I didn't need to watch this in the theater. Um, I could have this maybe playing in the background and be like, "Oh yeah, that part or that part," but the start, I would not watch this from start to finish again.
All right, Mike, what do you got for us? Can you convince Green?
So
Probably not.
my green card is a lock. I disagree half of you guys. Half of the things that you guys said. I will agree when I go back to the movies and pay the how movie ticket pricing is now. No, I wouldn't. Um, but I will rewatch this film again. I had a lot of fun with it. I was entertained from start to finish. The thing that the thing that I feel that this movie's biggest strength is that it knows what it is. It's not a serious movie. It's comedy. It's crazy, stupid action that's just entertaining. And towards the end of the film, I really did like the whole story with the father and the son wanting revenge from what was the main villain that they were trying to go after?
Right there,
The White
The
Death. I
White
was
Death, yeah.
Yeah, the White Death. I was so intrigued into that story compared to all the other stories. So I honestly think Brad Pitt did a good job in this film. He was just you want to say yeah he was Brad Pitt, but I don't know. I don't think anybody else would have done a good job like how he did in this movie.
really?
I don't think so.
Uh,
I really did like like his
I'm,
charisma,
I'm
his
gonna back
sarcasmic.
because I really also throughout the movie, I also thought like I think Ryan Reynolds could have done this one better.
I don't know, Brian. The thing is that if Brian Reynolds is in this film, and I mean, spoilers, he is in the film. But if he was in Brad Pitt's um character, it would have been like another Deadpool. It's like we've already seen that already, and I feel like we would have said that during the review if that was Ryan Reynolds and Brad Pitt's part. So it was just like a nice new thing to see. And then of course Lemon and Tangerine. You guys are right about that. Those two are the main stars of the film because they are funny as fuck. And what with the whole thing with Lemon doing the whole thing with his whole Thomas the Train thing, how he could read people and stuff like that. I really did like. I thought that was hilarious, and his whole brother Tangerine being like the muscle, all angry and shit. It worked. The film worked really well, and I think the casting in this film was strong, and I felt like it was good casting. I will say this though: there's two characters that you could just throw away in the film. That's the wolf, Bad Bunny's character, and the poison lady. For me, I didn't really understand their part of the. I didn't understand their part of the story. They were just more of just like, hey, we need to put a little bit more people. So let's just make up two characters. Who's the hottest artist right now of making music? Who's a big? Everyone's a big fan of them right now. You know what? Add a Bad Bunny and let's get this girl from Deadpool to Domino. Um, Everybody will like them. That's how I felt about the characters. They really didn't bring anything to the film, and they were only in the film max like what 2 minutes.
I'll
That's a
still
bit
agree.
of exaggeration, but yeah, we got you.
Yeah, I mean, not 2 minutes, but they were very short. That's
Yeah,
just like,
everybody else, yes, definitely much shorter.
yeah, way shorter, way shorter. And also too, the brother, the one that died. The
Oh, the one at the beginning where Lemon and Tangerine, they like the one that they were talking to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I understand it's a revenge story between that and whatsoever, but in the towards the end of the film, it didn't matter, in my opinion. You could have easily brought in the White Death into the train, and you're right about it. You're right about the train too. It didn't really matter about the train. It could have been on a fast boat, on I don't know, airplane, or anything like that. But in the end of the day, I still felt like okay, you know what? Like the ending was kind of crazy. Shit went down. The train crashed.
Also, speaking of that, they killed another train, a train full of people.
They did.
No, 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 no. No. The whole train was empty
How do we know that?
because the White Death said that he bought every single ticket.
No, that train.
There was another train. I don't remember.
They hit that
Oh,
other train before
Oh
crashing.
yeah, yeah, that's right. They went under.
oh, they went under. Yeah, yeah. Those people died. So they fucked. They died for sure. And then Sandra Bullock showing up, it was just more like a cameo. Like, oh shit, look, is a famous actress, right? And Sandra Bullock,
Big highlights coming out of you.
you know, big. She ages like fine wine. But the film for me was solid. I liked it. I will rewatch it again for people who have not watched it. Would I recommend to go to the movie theaters to watch it now? No, save your money because movie prices are kind of expensive right now. Not if you go to matinee, that's better, or Tuesdays for $5. Yeah, sure, go enjoy it. I think this movie does have a good movie theater experience. But other than that, you could just easily stream it later on in your house comfortably in your boxers or whatever you like to roll. Like Ham like doesn't like to wear a shirt. So it's a solid green card for me. I'm locked in. I had fun. I recommend this. I will rewatch it again.
I would say that if you were to confidently give it a green card, then it would have to be a movie that you would want to watch in theaters.
I mean, it's a film that's a good film that I like, that I think if you are want to go to the theaters and you don't know what to watch, sure, go watch Bullet Train. But for a person like me who have seen Bullet Train already, who bought a movie ticket, would I go buy another movie ticket to go see it? No, I wouldn't. But I will recommend people to go see it.
So you wouldn't want to go see Jaws again in theaters?
Oh no, no, you cannot compare Bullet Train to Jaws. No, 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 no.
Just it's they're just saying it's a good film, right? You would want to see it in theaters, right?
No, 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 no. You no, no. Mm-mm. Your argument right there is no. Mm-mm.
First Jurassic Park movie, you don't want to go see that in theaters?
Will you go see? Will you see Back in the Future?
Oh hell yeah! When
Exactly.
the next showtime? I'm driving there right now.
Jesus Christ!
I've done it before.
And I've done it before with Jaws.
But let's say this. Let's say there's a 7 o'clock showing of Bullet Train and a 7 o'clock showing of Jaws. And let's say you hadn't seen Bullet Train yet. Would you still go see Bullet Train
Yeah,
instead of Jaws?
yeah.
Okay.
Because I've seen Jaws a million times, even though I will love to watch it. Like, I mean, I will watch it again. Actually, I actually just did my Jaws marathon just not too long ago.
All right, you say so, man. All right, well, that's one green card, two yellow cards. I think we would still all recommend it at least to watch it once.
Yeah, three green cards. Honestly, you guys cheated.
It's a solid fun movie, and then you can make your own decision afterwards if you really enjoyed it as much as Mike did.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on to movie number 2.
I forgot about movie number 2 already. Oh god.
Prey, the Hulu exclusive, because Hulu brings out the hits like Netflix. Not really.
No, it doesn't. No fuck.
Watches anything on Hulu, but maybe this will change people's mind. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Prey is a fairly short movie. I mean, compared to a lot of recent movies, Prey was an hour and 40 minutes long. It's a rated R
minus 10 minutes of credits.
Sure. The synopsis goes: a skilled Oh my gosh, I'm gonna mispronounce this. So you guys better correct it if you remember. Comanche, the tribe.
I don't even know her name.
A skilled warrior protects her tribe from a highly evolved alien predator. Oh, that's a copyright infringement right there. That hunts humans for sport, fighting against wilderness, dangerous colonizers, and this mysterious creature to keep her people safe.
Sounds like Jaws.
What?
I don't know.
Starring nobody that we know for sure. Like these are legit. Like I'm
Let's
sure
call
they've
them
done other stuff, but these are like what do you call them in the movie industry? What would we call them? Underdogs?
Disney,
Like
no, Disney characters.
She was in
what?
the whole series.
Disney actors. More likely they worked for Disney. I mean, technically Hulu. Disney owns Hulu, so this is a Disney movie.
well, so let's say CW actors like side characters. How about that?
Okay.
Isn't it easier to say like B grade actors?
I would say like C tier actors probably.
C
Not, not,
tier.
not, not. I'm saying in terms of like popularity, right? In terms of fame.
Okay. Oh, if you're talking about fame, and then these are fucking D tier. Nobody knows who
um,
the
the
fuck they
the
are
main
except for their moms.
the main leading role goes to Amber Mid Thunder. That's her name. She was the
I
main
like
star
her.
of the entire movie. Uh, okay, let's go to the ratings. IMDb gives it a 7.2 out of 10.
Mm,
Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 92%.
92%. Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Damn.
And there's no other contender here other than, of course, Ham's people. Now, Ham,
Mm-hmm.
that we're gonna have a Predator marathon, but
Yeah.
he made sure to promise everybody that it was just really gonna be the first Predator and then this one.
Yeah.
So that's
What
why
about Predator 2?
80% like this movie. I
80.
can't say anything about Predator 2. So if we're gonna get into this really quick, I actually did not watch Predator 2. I've never watched Predator 2.
No. I mean, you're not missing out, but it's like one of those classic movies where like
Oh,
it was made, it's goes into the lore, and it connects with this movie.
yes, correct.
Oh, it connects to this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You guys gotta explain that to me later. Spoilers, people. By the way, spoilers. Yeah, I never saw Predator 2, and I never saw the 20
Well,
Predator, and
yeah.
AVP. I besides
Mm.
the
Don't
scene that I want to bitch about, I don't remember anything else about those movies.
come up. That never happened.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that movie never happened.
but I mean, Predator. Where does that fall in line with like everybody's like likes of? I don't know what the one was like. Predator. I'm a fan of Predator. I love Predator. I think the monster looks cool. I think the idea, the concept of how like they build up kind of like the lore and the culture behind the Predator is very cool. Which we kind of do see some of that in this movie. So like I'm always gun ho for a Predator movie. You guys, Predator, yay, nay?
Yeah, I'm on the side of Predators over Aliens. Like, I think it's not that much of a complicated story for Predators. It's more of a, you know what they are, and you're expecting to see some crazy shit in the movies. There's some movies that did it super well, really well, like the masterpiece of the first Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator 2. It's more of a mid tier film that connects with the first film, but it's still good. It's one of those classic movies where like you know it's bad, but you could appreciate it. And then when it comes down to, of course, we're going to ignore the AVP. Um, I really did enjoy I did enjoy the other movie, Predators.
Yes, I would say so too. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. I thought it was really good. And then the one that came out in 2018, that one was shit. It was completely fucking stupid, like really stupid. And yeah, I enjoy a good Predator movie, just like you.
Ham, what's your stance on Predator?
Same exact thing that Mike said, but I did also play this PC game uh, that had you could play as the Predator, the Marine, or the Alien. Oh man, Predator was always the best.
Yeah.
Shitty ass graphics, but yeah, I really do enjoy the Predator series. I've seen them all. Um, Played most of whatever games came out for them. So yeah, he's cool dude. He's cool dude. He's cool dude.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that game's graphic aged like fine Diet Coke. Shit.
All right. Cards and then backtrack to discussions. Mike, what are you going to give Prey?
So I'm on the fence with a green card or yellow card. I am going to, for now, give it a yellow card, and I will explain later why.
Okay. Ham?
Green.
Ooh, that was like straight off the bat. He was confident on that one.
Yeah, he was super confident.
Just like how I'm confident with my green card.
Ooh.
Ooh, I love how you guys were not that confident in the last one, but confident in this one, and vice versa.
I really thought that this was a good fucking movie. Like I was interested from
Mhm.
beginning to end. This had like good like solid action sequences for what it was, but I felt like
Mhm.
due to like the cinematography behind it and how I felt like some of the action sequences were kind of played out better than I thought it would have. This movie felt like this should have been in theaters. This movie
Yeah,
I would have gladly paid money to go see in theaters because it I thought the suspense was built up properly. I thought the culture of Predator was played out pretty well. You know, he still had all his gadgets. Some of them had a little bit of tweaks to some interesting things that I don't think we've seen before in the Predator movie. Um, you know, his whole concept of being a hunter, how he handled like the first part of the times that you see him, it's just with his fist. And then eventually he goes to his weapons when he realizes like the threat is bigger than what he can handle. And I like that idea also that he doesn't hunt for anybody that's around him because he stopped killing the chick, right? He stopped going after the chick because she
because she's
wasn't
not a
really
threat.
a threat anymore.
All predators do. If they're not a threat, he won't hunt them.
Right, and I like that they still kept to that. So this movie felt like it was done with, what's the phrasing everyone likes to keep using with this, like done justice or done with care with to the previous, I guess, ideas of predator that's already been established. This was also, you could almost say,
It was
and
made with passion.
passion. There you go. You could almost say, and maybe I'm out of line saying this, but this is like almost like how you would see like remakes of a game, right? Like Final Fantasy VII remake to the original Final Fantasy VII. This almost
Mhm.
felt like a Predator remake, like done beautifully well. Like if this was done as a reboot or remake, then yeah, 10 out of 10. I guarantee everyone will love this movie, and it is getting a lot of high praise. Um, I thought the chick, whoever Amber Midthunder, played her role very well. I will agree maybe to some people that might see this as like a little too pushy with the whole feminist thing, like, oh, like females are always seen as this, and she's playing that really tropey, like, I'm gonna go against the role of the female. Yeah, I can kind of see that, but to me, I didn't really acknowledge that in the whole movie. Like, it didn't bother me, and it didn't seem like it was like slapping me in the face with that idea. It was just like, yeah, she just wants to do something different. She wants to be a hunter. No one believes in her, that she can do it, and she's going to prove to not just herself but to everybody else. And I don't know, it the whole story was just, I was intrigued by the whole thing, and I think part of that is because of how she also portrayed the character. I don't know if there's a character I disliked in this movie either. um I thought it was interesting that we had the colonizers in there as well. I was not expecting that tidbit of it. I mean, I don't know if it was in a trailer. I didn't really see. I only saw one trailer, and it's probably the first that came out. But
Uh,
the fact that they also brought those people in, I was like, oh, that's an interesting twist. Um, I will say though that also kind of bummed me out a little bit because I really was hoping for just strictly like a predator versus this one girl. Like it would just be those two like in the woods, and she would have to like fight her way for survival. I think because the colonizers being there, it took away a little bit of that idea. But at the end of it, she did get her final battle scene, which I thought was really, really cool and really well done. And I thought the way that she went about it was genius. Yeah, I liked everything about this movie. I don't think there's anything I disliked or really hated. So it gets my confident green card, and it's a movie I would want to watch in theaters. That's why it also gets my green card. So whoever wants to go next.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, I'll go next. I'll get this out of the way because it's as Sal would say, nitpicks. I think it was a little slow at the beginning, just a little, not too much, but I just noticed it. And then second of all, the big one is I hate how they sort of talked. I mean, you could tell it was like almost a English, but like today's sort of almost like not slang, but you could hear it in the tone as some of them would talk to each other. It's like that's how people would talk nowadays to somebody else. There was that weird inflection or tone. I really do wish I watched it with the I think there was a dubbed like whatever uh Native American language they were talking. I think there was a dub, which
Oh,
would
really?
yeah, I think so. So you can look that up or not. Somebody fact check me on that. But yeah, I think it would have been better without sort of that English sort of I don't know, Gen X sort of feel to it.
Mm.
Um of course this movie's gonna be talked about because there's a dog in it. Come on, guys. The fucking dog. This guy didn't even talk about it. I don't even know his name, but um yeah, and he survives too. Hey, everybody happy. Um Predator was cool. I think we just need the colonists to, get that kill count high up there. Yeah, you had to somehow. Yeah, that last battle was cool. Um, I do wonder if it actually, because I don't know if you saw at the end of the credits, or no, the beginning of the credits actually, they have like the Predator ships coming back. So I don't know if that leads for a sequel or not, but always iffy about sequel baiting, even if they do make a sequel or not. Which I think it does deserve, but we'll see how that's handled. Uh, uh Guy, the line. Some of the CJ was. Other than that, like I said, they're all nitpicks, and I do recommend this movie. Yeah, I wish I watched it. I would maybe they had a better budget for the CGI, but yeah, I don't think you can go wrong. Go now, watch Hulu on Hulu. Pray Hulu. Yay!
All right, Mike. You still gonna stick with your yellow, or are you gonna talk your way up to a green?
Let's see. Let's see. Let me give out my review, and you guys will let me know if I'm being over dramatic and stuff.
Oh, too late.
So I will agree with you. This is a really good film. I had a lot of fun with it. I was super surprised how well this film was. I think I was just like everybody else watching the trailer after watching it. I thought it was going to be another like bullshit Predator movie, and it doesn't even have like a Predator movie; it just has Prey. I'm like, oh, it even has a cheap ass title. It's going to be shit. So watching it, I was highly surprised of how much I really did like this film a lot. It was really good. I think well acted. Action scenes were amazing. The intensity of this character, the main character, and her dog just trying to survive was top notch. I really did like it a lot. I think even having like those random French people in the movie were just like, you know what? Let's add more people let's just add more people for this predator to kill. Because we do see the brutality that he did on these people. Really, really well done, and especially that net that he threw on that guy on the log. That was brutal. And yeah, even him fighting the bear, like him grabbing the bear, putting it over him, and all the blood is on top of him. That was phenomenal and fantastic. I think the reason for my yellow card, and you're gonna be like, "Are you serious?" It was the end.
You serious?
Um, I think it was the ending. Um, I understand that the main character, she is a good hunter, and she wants to be a good warrior and stuff. I just think like for her to have her first like kill against a predator was like, I don't know if I believe in that. I don't know.
Calling bullshit. That's what you're calling.
I call it bullshit. I don't know. I just for me it's bullshit comparing to what this predator is. He's a master predator, of course. He's a master hunter. You know, and this is her first time going against somebody like this, that it's like top notch of hunting, you
Yeah.
know. And she is a beginner. She is, of course, she is smart. She knows what to really do in some sort, but you cannot, where it's literally its main thing is to hunt and
Okay.
to be smart, and she's able to outsmart it and do all these things. And for the whole helmet thing, for the arrows to be targeted on the predator, and the predator to die like that, I was like, I feel like that was a bit reaching. I was
Mm,
like, I call bullshit on that. I don't know, but that's why I brought it down to a yellow. I just felt like the ending was. I would have believed it more if the brother was alive with her. Two
okay.
heads, two heads together. But of course, the brother didn't make it. Spoilers. Um, but the film is good. I highly recommend it. It should be in theaters, just like Sal said. To be getting, I feel like if it was in theaters, they'll be getting a lot of money. But yeah.
So I would say two counters to your I don't know angst against this movie or whatnot. Um, and I already forgot my second one. The first one I do remember. Want to bring up is you gotta remember Predator has been fucked up at that point. Like he's been through some shit. He got like mauled by a bear, right? He also got his
Hmm.
knee stabbed in the leg. He's got his own tools that he was also like that were used against him. I would argue that Predator was not at 100% full health. Like maybe 45%
Yeah, the
around there when they had the final battle. So like he was like already weakened, and some of that was due to the help of her brother as
yeah,
well, which I think is what made the kill more meaningful for her because it wasn't necessarily just for her; it was also in a way to avenge her brother as well. Which is why she kept going after him, right? It's not like she just like flat out run and was like, "Fuck this shit." There's no way I'm gonna beat him. She's like, "No, I am going to beat him, and I'm going to outsmart this one, knowing full in hand that he's like she knows all the tricks already. She's observed all these things that have happened. So that's why she was able to kind of use like because we see that scene where she's looking at the arrows that's shooting out, right? It was her brother that was riding around in circles and as a horse, and the mask was off. But as the predator was trying to shoot down the brother, the arrows were still shooting out of the mask, and she was looking at that and she was like, oh, okay, like that's interesting, I guess. And then she uses that knowledge to outsmart the predator at the end and the final scene, and she specifically chose that location too because that was the same place that she got stuck in as well, and she knew that that would slow him down because that slowed her down. So I think the movie, and this is I didn't talk about it, but I think that's one of the things that I liked about the movie was that it kind of subtly went back and was like, "Hey, do you remember this? Do you remember this? Do you remember this?" And it kind of all put it together because it even shows him throughout the movie that she's very quick to learn and that she's a natural at so many different things, whether it's like making the medicine or even like training to be a hunter, because we see her like create that hatchet on a rope and she's training. She's like trying to throw it, trying to get better because she fucks up the first couple of times, and then a little time passes and she gets better at it and better at it. So it's not like she's
I
completely useless or like completely like
Yeah.
weak at the beginning. She kind of shows and proves her worth that this kill is like it's not like equal like 1-to-1 because yeah, she was fucked up as well, like she lost some health as well, but I think the way that they built up her character and how she adapts to things made it believable to me, where it's like, yeah, it's not like she went full on fist fight with the predator. She outsmarted the predator, and that's essentially what you end up doing to a predator. You have to outsmart it because the predator uses brute strength. You outsmart it with your speed and your wits.
I get your point. You do make a good like argument, but I still call bullshit because you could say that he was not 100%, but he was not 100% going against the 12 or 20 French soldier show. Oh my god, I can't even speak
Soldier.
right now. Soldiers, and
I
then
about
after that, going against her brother, where it's like, yeah, her brother like harmed, like did hurt, like wounded the predator, but he still was able to beat him. Of course, he's not going one on one with this girl and somewhat, but he still finds ways to kind of out, like, try not to be outsmarted, you know, compared to the first Predator movie where he's going against a military guy, where, Arnold is not going against one on one with him, not even he's trying to outsmart it, and he does in some points, but the Predator catches on and makes him punish. And then, of course, in the end, he kind of got lucky. And then in Predator 2, yeah, Predator 2 kind of died from gun wounds because, modern day or some shit like that. I forgot how the Predator really died. I think
Yeah.
was it like a lucky thing, right? Like
I
ish.
don't,
The
it's
same thing with this movie. It was some sort of luck, and I don't really remember if, like, I think it's just because of the technology of the year that they're in, that whole arrow thing. That's the first time I've ever seen it. I don't know if Ham could correct that for me, if you remember, if the whole arrow thing of if it coming back towards you to the target. I
well,
think
okay. Yeah,
that's the first time, right?
I agree. Yeah, I think so. Just like the new detonation bombs, but I do agree how the with you about the predator not knowing like that would work that way or something. I see where Mike is coming from, where the helmet or the arrow thing is like, wait a minute, how did the predator not know or remember that's how it works?
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
It's
more
that's
of
the
like he
thing.
didn't know that it was taken. Did he? He didn't know where it was.
He knew that the red light was on him.
Did
Did-
he?
Yeah, he even
No,
looked. He
it shot
even
him on
looked towards
the side.
it.
I don't think he did, but I still
It shot him on the side because he was staring at her and was about to shoot her with his wrist arrow thing, and the lasers were coming to the side of him, and he didn't see that. He didn't see the laser on him because it wasn't in his peripheral. It wasn't his point of view.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
but I thought he maybe saw her take the helmet. Did he not?
Maybe, but like, what
Maybe
what makes you think that someone inferior that you believe is inferior to you could figure out what exactly it does?
True,
because
true.
he kind of should have been like, okay, where's my helmet? Okay, because he should know already that, because all predators should know their equipment. Like, okay, where's my helmet? Let me see if I could have a lock on her. Okay, I don't see the lock. I see the light of it, but it's not on her. But let me shoot it anyways, and it kills him. So it's just like, okay, so this predator was being stupid at the time. Like,
I think that's like I feel like if they had done that where he's like actively searching for his mask, I don't and I'm not trying to disagree with you. It's just to
mhm.
me that seems like a reach where it's like he's going after this bitch because he sees her as a big threat now, and in his rage he completely like yeah, again this goes part of like Predator is not the full on version of Predator, right? He's weakened, but also his mind, like his
Mhm.
mentality is like, fuck it, I'm gonna go after her every way possible. Because you saw how aggressive he got with her, especially when he almost
Oh
like cut
yeah,
her off with the shield. Like he was all out, 100%. He didn't give two fucks. So I don't think in his head he's thinking, where the fuck is my mask? Why should I care about my mask when I don't think a human or just animal or just creature, whatever, is gonna figure out how to use it? So fuck it, I'm just gonna beat her with brute strength.
yeah. And the thing is, towards the end, if he's like doing that with the brute strength, like you mentioned, and then he's like, okay, I want to turn into my weapons now instead of me dealing it with right away with my hands. While she was like, what, like 5 feet or 4 feet away from him. So he was just like, oh, you know what, fuck it, let me just shoot you.
Well,
So
because he's in the swamp.
yeah, but he got out of it.
Yeah, he got out, but he couldn't like move fast, like to run at her. Because remember when she was in the swamp and she had a fucking rough time to get through. Like it's that's a fucking thick set of mud all over you. That really slows you down. I mean, I don't care if
Yeah.
you're
But the thing is, I would have believed that he
elephant
would
or
have got out
something.
of it. Yeah.
Really bogs him down.
Yeah, but I still would have believed that he would have got out of it. I don't know. Like I
Mm,
said, like there's a lot of different things of the ending, you know. Would I watch this movie again? Hell yeah! I am actually planning to watch it later on this week on my days off to
All right,
rewatch it.
watch it. It's a Comanche, I think, a Comanche dub, and let us know how that was.
Comanche dub.
The
The
the name the name
Comanche,
like where they're actually speaking their language and it's like subtitles. I'm assuming you read
Mm, I wonder if that's what really.
because I watched it where it was all in English. And yeah,
yeah.
they said a couple of like words in their native language, but it was like one or two words. It wasn't the whole dialogue.
So watch it
Wait, they
like that
have.
better.
That's what
But the
Ham
thing
said.
is,
There's a version where they completely speak in their own in that language, and it's just like subtitles that you're
um,
reading as to what they're actually saying.
but are they really talking in that one? You know what I mean? It's not like.
Well, I don't know. We just I think
Mm,
it's a dub, but I mean I'd like to see it, especially because you have the translator, which makes no sense because they're speaking English anyways. The French guy's
Yeah,
like translator. It's like translate what?
yeah.
got you. You know, that was another thing I was thinking about too. I was like, wait, why are they speaking in English?
Yeah. So check out the.
Where's
I'm interested as well, but
That final battle scene really knocks that much to a yellow.
for me it
Despite
does.
saying that you want to watch it in theaters, despite saying you rather go out and pay the money to see that, despite watching it again this weekend, which
Hmm.
you're like, Bullet Train, Bubba, whatever. Like I don't know, you really not gonna give it a green?
I'm gonna stick with my yellow.
I think Mike would have been happier if the Predator won.
Honestly, I
Probably,
would have.
yeah, he would have.
Well, technically, the Predators do win.
See, there you go.
Green card.
Actually, you know what? Green card. You know what? They all died.
Okay,
Because okay,
so
this is how Predator 2 ties in.
okay, thank you. That's
Oh,
what I was.
yeah, I forgot.
Okay, it's the most stupidest thing ever.
Eh,
It is. It is. Okay, so you know the gun that she has?
Yeah,
Okay, in Predator 2, one of the Predators have that same gun with literally the same marking, everything, and gives it to the main character. So the main character looks at it and be like, "Damn, these fucking aliens are that old," and that's how it connects. Literally, just because of the gun.
mm, that's a
I-
subtle. That's
it is subtle. I saw the gun and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the. And then I had to look and I'm like, it is the.
Yeah. So
Um,
that's how
That's
you know they
but
died.
that's kind of a nice touch to like that, and that goes back to supporting though my point of like this movie felt like it handles the franchise with care. Like it knows the lore, it knows the background, it knows
Mhm.
what other movies are in this franchise, and they pick the best or the highlights or whatever to kind of remember people by like because and one that I remember when Mike was talking was the whole cult thing where we know Predator only sees heat and if correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first Predator movie, he covers himself completely in mud to avoid that. Where in this one, we see
Yeah.
her that she eats this medicine that makes her body temperature drop really low. And to me, it's
Mhm.
not a one-to-one resemblance, but it's the same concept of like, oh, I know
Yeah.
you eat, I'm gonna lower my body temperature so that way you can't find me. Um, yeah. So and again, going back to the gun thing, that's one of those like subtle things where it's like it respects the lore that's been established.
You know what? I'm going to give it a green card. I'm going to boost it up to a green.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to boost it up to a green because the dog lives, but everybody dies.
Stupid.
what I said. I told you at the beginning. I said, dog, yay, lives, yeah. There you go. Yeah.
But
Three
I
green cards. Mike can't
hat
say
trick.
more. Three green cards.
Yeah,
Totally recommend it.
totally
If
recommend.
you want to go as far as like rent out a movie theater and just put it up there somehow, if they let you put a streaming service and be like, yeah, let's put this one. I say go for it because I
I don't
think
know
this.
how this is not in movie theaters.
I mean, they if people were looking at this and were like, what was the last Predator movie? How well did it do? Oh yeah. No, go to streaming service.
But how the fuck did the Gray Man got a movie theater showing and this didn't?
The Russell brothers.
Um,
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Uh, also, I think there's a lot of records. If you can, I did not look it up, but I know there's a lot of records for this movie. Recently on Hulu, like the number one, blah 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 blah. Just you can look it up. I don't have time to remember stuff anymore. And what was the other thing? I think this would have done way better in theaters over Bullet Train.
Oh, without a doubt, hands down, hands
Yeah,
down.
for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. If you're gonna watch something this weekend, I say watch Prey. Pick Prey over Bullet Train.
Yep.
Speaking of this weekend, our next movie, which we did not fully agree on, but we had a choice to agree on. At the least of it, the three of us are gonna watch Day Shift, which is a Netflix exclusive movie starring Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
And then I think Ham was gonna see something, and Mike was gonna see something else. So you'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, do that thing you're supposed to do every episode.
Hey guys, follow us on social media. It's going to be on YouTube, Twitter, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. WRMA Cast.
Were you about to say Hulu?
I was going to say Hulu.
We're not
WRMA Cast on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. And then write us an email at drunkcop.ateacher@gmail.com. And Han will write to you about his favorite predator or prey moments, where he goes look for the most expensive sushi ever.
Oh yeah.
And him going checkers.
Oh God. All right. So like I said, Day Shift, next episode. And that pretty much wraps it up. Any final words, gentlemen? We're gonna fucking do that.